Choice Show. You are listening on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. You can also catch us anywhere, anytime on the TuneIn Radio app. You can download that app and catch Nooga Radio anywhere, anytime on Shoutcast and on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. We're live streaming on YouTube and Facebook as well. We're live streaming on Facebook, even though we can't see it. It looks like somebody's tuned in, so I think we're on there. Again, Nooga Radio, the Cindy's Choice Show, and I am Cindy. It's Cindy's choice to make a positive impact in our community. It is my absolute passion to support community initiatives with a very special focus on community collaboration. Healthy networks are very important, and a lot of folks and a lot of businesses do not have healthy networks of support. They think they don't have time for them, but it's very key to the success of the business, the organization, and the individual. What I do for Cindy's Choice is actually gather businesses that complement each other and have the same target market. So I can provide them shared marketing management, allowing great cost savings, which is great for small businesses that can't afford marketing. But the value is not just about the savings. Is together we can just do so much more to make an impact in our community. When we can help small businesses, it encourages economic development and so much more. When we can help people be self-sufficient, it's just a major community initiative. So it's not just about savings. It's about what we can contribute. And you can inquire more about that at cindy@cindyschoice.com, cindy@cindyschoice.com. But now I'm very anxious and eager to introduce my guest. Dr. Marc Cromie is joining me today. Hi, Doctor.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing wonderful, and I am so glad and honored to have you here to join me today. And I'm so glad that you are familiar with our sponsors, Chicken Salad Chick.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Are you aware there's 12 different varieties of Chicken Salad Chick?
I did not, but we have 12 days in the week, right? We can eat one every day.
That's how it works. There's something for everyone. It's not just chicken salad. There's the turkey pesto sandwich. There's pimento cheese. There's a BLT. So you can get a BLT with pimento cheese. I mean, there's just something for everyone. It's a great catering option.
Yeah, and that's what we've done is we've had reps bring it to our office, and our girls love it.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I do too, of course.
And it's easy for them because people love it, and it's easy to transport. So
exactly.
It's like you don't have to worry about anything being soggy or anything like that. It's all good, fresh made that day too. Yay. And then we just had Jed Mescon on. We're so proud of Josh Patton. He just opened his 3rd location at Erlanger Hospital. And Josh is such a pioneer. He's actually opened the first Chicken Salad Chick franchises in Tennessee.
They have one in Erlanger, is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that incredible? Right there at the entrance of the mall.
That's great.
It is. Great. It's really, really awesome.
Because I remember I was a pediatric resident years ago, like 20 before I did my allergy fellowship, and it's good food is hard to find in the hospital. So that's a nice lesson.
That's what I got excited because we all know how that is. And the cool thing about Chicken Salad Chick is it's a very good food, but it's very healthy. The classic Carol recipe is 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten.
I mean, that's the way I live my life. I mean, for 1 hour a day at least.
Yeah. You can see my face. I was like, where's he going with that?
My wife will tell you that I kind of cheat. After dark, I kind of cheat.
Yeah. Well, we got it. You have to have your little fudges here and there. But hey, Dr. Cromie, I am so eager to jump in, and I don't know you very well. And normally when I have someone, I know them somewhat because that's what's kind of spurred me to have them on, is I know something about them that's great for this platform. And again, I love to support community initiatives and people that support community initiatives and care about their community. But Chattanooga Allergy Clinics, which Dr. Cromie is the president of the Chattanooga Allergy Clinics, really got my attention. I shared at the end of the first half. I've lived in Chattanooga for 18 years, but I'm from Texas. And this is my 3rd time back after being gone for 10 years. Now, when I was here before, I wasn't in the B2B, the business world. I was a mom, and then I came back as a single mom, and I'm a hang glider pilot. So that was my circles. But even then, I was familiar with Chattanooga Allergy Clinics. But when I came back to the B2B world and thought, they're everywhere. Oh my gosh, they're not just plugged in everywhere, but they're plugged in and supporting and contributing. And that's the immediate reputation that you had. And then I met you, and I was like, well, no wonder. That because you get what the energy, people that first impressions are huge. And, that energy came from you immediately. And you'd kind of been on my radar. I thought, well, that's somebody I really like to get on the show at some time. But then when I met you, I'm like, oh, man, he'll be great to have on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And also, I know some of your employees, and they brag on the culture of the Chattanooga Allergy Clinic so much. You're over 100 employees now.
Yeah, we've got a great little family, like you said.
Exactly. It's not and it's hard to manage large groups of people and not get that corporate culture. And y'all have been able to keep a family type culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Just to give you a little insight, when I joined Chattanooga Allergy Clinic right out of my allergy fellowship, first of all, to give you a little insight on what is an allergist, because people often say, what is an allergist? Well, to be an allergist, you have to be, after med school, you have to go on and do a residency in either pediatrics or internal medicine. So I did pediatrics, and that's how I came to Chattanooga, which was the best blessing that ever happened, because I grew up in Atlanta, went to med school in Augusta, after undergraduate at the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. Hopefully it was a good year. And then went to med school in Augusta, and then I came to Chattanooga as a whim. Somebody had talked me into checking out the program at Erlanger, and it turned out to be the best thing I ever did, because I fell in love with Chattanooga. Then I went on after my pediatric residency after 4 years, and we did 2 years of allergy. And the 2-year allergy fellowship makes you board certified in pediatric and adult allergies. So being a pediatrician first, it definitely gave me an advantage, because, allergy starts early. We jokingly say that my patients are from the womb to the tomb, because we see all ages. But coming to Chattanooga for my pediatric residency was the best thing ever, because I was always planning on going back to Atlanta and joining my allergist, because as a kid, I was on allergy shots. The only child of an Italian family. My mom was very protective, if you can imagine that. Wanted me to live in the bubble with my allergies. They wanted me to do sports, and my allergist was awesome. He said if Marc takes his allergy shots and his medicines, he can do whatever he wants. He can play sports. He can,
good.
So that really changed my life. And so I knew at a young age I wanted to be an allergist. It was great. It was a very eye-opening experience. So because I could relate. So it's beautiful to come back to Chattanooga and find that it is the third leading allergy capital in the United States too. So it's a great place to have a business. So
exactly. And it didn't affect me the first time I moved here. We were working in back in the late 80s, when the economy kind of tanked in Texas. We were traveling this part of the country, and we were working in north of Atlanta, the Cartersville area. And we were coming here and getting introduced to hang gliding, and falling in love with the area. And when we decided to locate here, I did not remember experiencing any effects from the allergies. I was still pretty young. But it was really odd, because we moved back to Texas, and I got the flu. And I went to the doctor and said, you don't have the flu, you have allergies. I'm like, I just left like one of the highest allergy areas, and then it took going back to Texas to start experiencing seasonal allergies. Now, of course, now in Chattanooga, I experience seasonal allergies.
It's all year.
And I watch the constant Facebook posts of, with this a high topic in Chattanooga is about the allergies, or what are we experiencing today? Who's feeling this? And I'm like,
well, it definitely affects your quality of life. But going back to your family question, so when I joined Dr. Kaplan, who started the Chattanooga Allergy Clinic in 1975, so we've been around a long time. We had one office, we had 5 employees. And so we just started that growth. He kind of let me take over and run the show and marketing, because I did that. And as an older allergist and physician, he did not believe in marketing at all. He thought it was mostly for lawyers, quote, ambulance chasers, etc. And none of his buddies did it. He didn't think it was necessary. And so I kind of forced him. And Jed was one of the first ones that got us on TV. I started doing the local morning show with him, and then we started advertising with Channel 3, and now we're on everywhere. But, that hasn't stimulated our growth. Now we have 8 offices. We have 5 docs, 10 nurse practitioners, over 100 employees. And so it's been a challenge to keep that family atmosphere, but we do our best. We take everybody on vacation. We shut the office down early, take a half day on Friday, and we go somewhere for Friday night, Saturday night. We have dinners. We have, we give them money to go to the spa. We go play golf. So it's great, because a lot of times it's some of our nurses, this is their only vacation. A lot of people, a lot of them can afford. So we do a family trip every year with this last year we went to Dollywood, believe it or not. We went to the Dreammore.
That what a perfect family vacation.
Well, we had 200 people there. So it was awesome. We took over the whole place.
Great. It's really, really smart, because when, I'm a Cindy's Choice is about entrepreneurial support. And what I try to help businesses understand is it's kind of like a marriage. With your employees, it's like if you need to put your spouse first, and then together you can take better care of your children. It's the same thing. If you put your employees first together, you can take so much better care of your clients. So what you just shared just gives your patients that much more confidence that, that your care of them is authentic. Because when your care of your employees is authentic, then it's just obvious that the care for your patients is authentic.
And we always kind of preach to our staff that, if you're in a bad mood, I understand it. We all have that. But if you're the front desk, you're the first person they're ever going to meet when they come to see Dr. Cromie. So if you're not happy, if you're not doing a professional job, that may be all they remember. So we have always been proud of our customer service. Almost we preach like a Disneyland kind of theme for our patients. Make the patients always right. The customer is the patient, and do what you can to make them happy. And our staff is just so good. But the thing about what we do that is retention. It costs a whole lot more to train people over and over again than to retain them and do the right thing, whether it's providing benefits, insurance, vacations, whatever. And our employees, we have very little turnover. So it's great.
And you'll get this. That's a lot of the concept of Cindy's Choice, is because you mentioned something like with your partner who did not recognize the value of marketing. That's very common. And as a marketer, you know how essential it is. Well, you've got the person that doesn't understand it. Then you have the businesses that do get it, but they just can't afford it. And that's what Cindy's Choice is trying to address. But it is when you can, with marketing employees, it's a very, you don't start out at a high pay range, and you're out there cultivating relationships. So it's easy for you to find something better and move on, quite frankly. So there's high retention in marketing employees, especially coming from big city areas like I'm from. So that's another thing with an outsourced marketing person, then that it's a forever relationship, and they can 100% keep building that pipeline and cultivating those relationships and contributing to the community on your behalf without you having to worry about retention and everything else that comes along with a client. So that with an employee, lots of hidden costs. I know you're very familiar with that. So that's how I'm trying to help small businesses, because it's an economic development initiative more so than a shared marketing concept, because it does small businesses what's the statistic? Over 80%, Dr. Cromie, of small businesses do not make it past 5 years. That's baffling. 40% of businesses make a profit, 30% break even, and 30% are losing money. So I want to change those statistics for small businesses. You guys were able to do that, and I'm loving your story, because the marketing was key. Well, and that's why you got my attention. I'm a marketer. I go, man, he gets it.
Well, what you're doing is awesome, because I definitely believe in marketing wholeheartedly. And I don't think that any even small marketing is great. Any marketing I think is important.
But nothing beats relationships.
It's all about relations and ball bearings.
Exactly. And even with if I'd had this radio show a year and a half ago, it wouldn't have really meant anything. But until I got out there and created awareness, earned the respect and the trust of the community, that now this platform can only amplify that and help me contribute to the community more. But just, until you get those solid relationships of building trust, then especially in a town like Chattanooga, I love how, you hear about 6 degrees of separation. Well, in Chattanooga, they say it's 2.
Yeah.
Now that's changing. Chattanooga is growing fast.
It is, but everybody knows everybody.
They do. It's amazing. I love that. But here they don't recognize that my passion for networking and building these healthy networks. But my last city I lived in was Houston, Texas. I ran my own commercial construction business in Houston, Texas. You're very alone and isolated out there. So Chattanooga is the perfect place to build a relationship-based model. To shine bright for the world, and then take it to these other cities and help these businesses that are out there on their own, and so they're not in that 80% that don't make it after 5 years.
Well, just to highlight your point, the marketing has done so much for us that we've been able to go into cities like we have an office in Jasper or Kimball, where we are hours away, but they have heard about us. They've seen us on TV. They see me on the channel that I'm doing the morning news. And so when we move into that city with the name Chattanooga Allergy Clinic, it has an instant appeal to them because they recognize it. So there's that almost like instant degree of respect that we've obtained from marketing. In the fact,
well, they've heard about you, but if that respect, if that trust wasn't attached to that in some way, in some kind of subliminal way that they realize they can trust you, it wouldn't matter, because look how saturated the airwaves are and social media and so forth like that. Everybody's advertising. So more than ever, you have to have a way to stand out. And if you haven't built that reputation of trust through authentic relationships that you can just expand on, then that wouldn't happen.
No,
And
you're right.
and then what I'm trying to do there is just really give kudos to you. It really, a smart marketer, it still takes that integrity of being genuine and really caring. And what you demonstrate, your business demonstrates with your culture, you really do. You care about your employees. Therefore, that's evident, and the patients they're going to be cared about as well.
And what Jed has already alluded to is that a lot of this is a genetic defect that I've inherited from my mom and dad, because they're wonderful people. I'm an only child, so I'm kind of, proud of my mom and dad, and they're great.
I'm the opposite. I'm a middle child.
Are you? Well, I have 5, so my wife and I are both only children. We have 5.
That's right.
So
I just thought, oh my gosh, yes.
So, but and my mom and dad worked for me. I mean, they retired. They moved to Chattanooga because we had the grandkids, and the only grandkids, and so my dad is kind of like my little alpaca guy. I mean, he goes out to Sam's and the Costco and delivers toilet paper to all 8 offices and make sure that everybody has all their supplies.
Man.
And my mom comes in twice a week, and she sends out letters to the new patients reminding them to stop their antihistamines and stuff. So it is family. It's family business there too. So
I just love that. And you'll hear more about my story, but I was raised I was neglected at a very early age. I didn't have a healthy network growing up. And I thought I could do everything on my own and had to do everything on my own. So you can see why I'm passionate about these networks. Some of your most successful businesses are family businesses because there's a network of support there. And that's originally how entrepreneurship, how our country was built, on family businesses. And so that's something I'm trying to create for those that don't have that blessing. That's an amazing blessing. To have 5 children is an amazing blessing.
God bless
but
you.
if you can, I guess you can manage that though. If you can manage over 100 employees, you can manage 5 children. Well, tell me. So what would you say? What would you say is like your greatest challenge with? I mean, you've got a large family, you've got a big practice. There's a spotlight on you. Quite frankly, Jed and I talked about that. When people know you, or they think they know you because they recognize. I'm bad about that. I walk up to strangers and talk to them like I've always known them. So if it's someone I recognize, I'll walk up and start talking to them like I've always known them.
I mean, well, how do you think I got on this show?
Exactly. And keeping that attitude and that reputation for that's what I loved about Jed. I was out there just talking to anybody that would listen to me. He actually stopped and listened, and I was like, whoa, and encouraged me and stayed in touch. And that's huge because he's a very, very busy person. And that's the same thing with you. You stopped and turned toward me and listened to me. And I'm like, oh, cool. I really want to have him on now because that's important, but it's difficult. I mean, we got to be honest. It's hard to be a busy person and keep that consistency and balance throughout.
Yeah.
So
I'm not very good at relaxing. My wife is so angry with me because anytime I have a time off, she's like, why can't we just stay home and relax? And I feel like I constantly have to go. But the biggest challenge, I do believe, I mean, when we first started the practice, people told me I was crazy to join this practice because it was such a small one practitioner. There was another group in town that's still around that had 5 or 6 docs that was very well established.
Okay.
And they're like, there's no way you're going to be able to compete with that group being by themselves. But I love Dr. Kaplan. I felt comfortable in that environment. And then with the marketing, of course, we've taken over and now we're the giant. But that's the challenge, in my opinion, is to make sure you keep that quality of care and that heartfelt
you don't have
love.
to worry about competition when you're authentic. You don't.
Well, that's the thing. I think we have such a well-oiled machine. Some of the stuff we do is unbelievable. Like we have a lady named Laura that does our health fairs, and she was just reviewing with
Laura.
me. Yeah, she does 70 to 100 health fairs a year. I mean, this week she's done 20. She's got 5 on Saturday.
Oh my goodness.
But she's going out to like the Blue Cross and Blue Shields of the world, to the town of Ringgold. So we're getting patients from all these things. For her, that's another marketing, direct to the consumer, not just TV, but go to where they work. And so
you just hit it. Oh, I'm going to be getting with you soon because you're just really encouraging me, because that's what Cindy's Choice is about. Is it's hard for businesses to afford that person that can, everybody, we small businesses, we just need social media. No, that person out plugged into the community that's out there demonstrating who your business is, because they're out there contributing and getting involved and demonstrating how you do business. And like I said, that was the first impression. I saw chicken salad chick. I saw Chattanooga allergy clinics everywhere. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they are involved. They get it. And that makes you start paying attention. And that's hard to do for a small business though. Yeah. So that's what I'm providing for them with shared marketing. I can keep adding more help, but because it's shared, the more businesses that come on board, I can add more help, but it doesn't add to their cost. So because it's challenging. And that collaboration that you were able to have with Dr. Kaplan, where you were the expert marketer, and he'd gotten the platform, he had the infrastructure there going, and then y'all were able to keep collaborating till. And he's still around. Yes. He works 3 days a week and then spends the summers in Naples. I mean, he's as happy as can be. Oh, that's awesome. But it's like a father-son. That was what was great too. That was a great relationship that we had there. So, and still do. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, we're down to 2 minutes. Already? Yes. Are you kidding me? I know. I just got here. I know. I hate that. It goes by way too fast, but I want you to promise right here on the air that you'll come back. I promise. I'll come back. I'll come after I eat some chicken salad chick. And again, this is radio, so I always forget about Facebook and YouTube. It's all about my guests when I'm on. I have a couple of notes because I am a marketing personality. It's like, I get distracted very easily, so I can somewhat stay focused. But it has been my absolute pleasure to have Dr. Marc Cromie of Chattanooga Allergy Clinics join me today. You've been listening to the Cindy's Choice Show on 92.7 FM and 95.3 FM HD4. Download the TuneIn Radio app, and you can catch Nooga Radio anywhere, anytime. I have a great show next week, Dr. Cromie. The police chief, the new police chief, Roddy, is going to to join me, and he's there's just that he's he's a new police chief, so I wanted to have him on and introduce him to the community. But his focus on relationships is what really got me excited. I thought, you've got to come on, because that's what I'm about. That's what I love encouraging people about, is relationships, and it's hard for people that have them. They don't understand. For the people that have had to leave bad support systems and rebuild new support systems. That's where my passion is. That's who I'm. The Tennessee Valley's news. I think we're done. We're down to the last 10 seconds. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.